In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the upcoming PlayStation 4 games coming up this week, and there are actually a slew of new high-quality releases, some bigger than others, but a quality and quantity of PlayStation 4 titles coming this week. On top of that, it looks like Ubisoft will be announcing a brand new title at E3 2018 that will be releasing very soon, and I have an idea as to what that game could be. Square Enix has filed a trademark for an unannounced title ahead of E3, and there's a couple of possibilities on what that trademark could be attached to. And on top of that, there is a free PlayStation 4 open beta that is going on right now. They just extended it, and it's a game not a lot of gamers are talking about, but I highly recommend you give it a shot, especially because it's an absolutely free beta, and you can check it out until this Tuesday. So more on that at the end of this video, but first let's take a look at the brand new PlayStation 4 game releases. All of these titles are releasing this weekend. We've got 4 pretty significant titles. First up, the biggest game this week, a brand new PlayStation 4 exclusive by the guys over at Quantic Dreams, the developers of Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, as well as Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, and that is of course Detroit Become Human. Now this is a game that, just like all the other Quantic Dreams titles, expected to be very ambitious, light on your traditional gameplay, but it is going to be very story driven and a lot of choices to be made in the game that's going to allow for a little bit of replayability. Now this is a game where everybody is going to have a different experience depending on how you play the game, what choices you make, and even if a main character dies in this game, it still proceeds forward. There is no game over screen. However, if you are worried that you make a wrong decision and you'd have to restart the game if you want to do it over, don't worry about that. There will be a rewind feature where you can go back to pivotal moments. However, take it from somebody that's played Quantic Dreams titles in the past, I really appreciate the games for letting me go through it once and having my own experience with it. I feel if you rewind the game and make a different decision, that almost hurts the integrity of the title, but opinions may differ on that. That's just how I personally have always preferred to play story-driven titles like this, especially a Quantic Dreams title. But nonetheless, Detroit Become Human is releasing on May 25th, this Friday.
Storefronts have been broken with cars vandalized and set alight, leaving many Detroit neighborhoods in chaos.
We're getting reports that hundreds of androids have been stolen from CyberLife stores.
Property was damaged and fires continue to rage in several major districts across the city.
Some people are asking, have androids become
And then also this Friday, of course, we have Dark Souls Remastered. So 2 pretty significant titles coming this Friday. I know a lot of you guys might not be picking up both, but Dark Souls Remastered at the very least is a budget title. It is not $59.99, thank God. Even the $39.99 price tag that it's at might disappoint some gamers because at the end of the day, this is a game that is, what, 8 years old at this point? And playing the network test, you can see that some of the elements of Dark Souls haven't aged all too well. Now that we've gotten Bloodborne, we've gotten Dark Souls 3, and we've gotten a lot of other action-oriented titles, the combat in the first Dark Souls really does show its age, but if you're nostalgic about it, $39.99, while it might be a little bit steep of a price point, if you have Best Buy Gamers Club unlocked, or if you have Amazon Prime for a $32 price tag, that isn't as steep. But I could very well see this game, as well as Detroit Become Human, getting rather cheap by the end of the summer, so maybe if you're on a tighter budget, waiting for both of those titles is best. But I know for some of you avid Souls fans, you guys are very excited for Dark Souls Remastered, so more power to you. And on top of those 2 releases, we've got 2 smaller titles. First up, we have Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition coming May 22nd. This is a PC first-person shooter that's been expected to release on consoles for quite a while now. It's finally coming on May 22nd. Not a top-tier first-person shooter, but a pretty solid game. Personally speaking, again, this is one I would definitely wait for because while it does have some quality elements, I would say it's very much a by-the-books first-person shooter that, yes, while it's worth playing, I would recommend you to get it at a budget price point.
It is to be the honored First Legion, the Emperor's wrath, the Sons of the Lion. Repent, for tomorrow you die!
And also we have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, an 8-bit style game, and it was promised as a stretch goal for the 2015 Kickstarter campaign for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, worked on by Koji Igarashi of Castlevania fame. Of course, Bloodstained follows a similar premise, and while this is a smaller experience compared to Ritual of the Night, this is still a game to check out, and that'll be coming on May 24th.
Miriam, a young woman who has had crystals transplanted by alchemists. She battles against demons with her fearsome whip. Alfred, an alchemist seeking the Liber Logaeth texts.
So a lot of interesting titles this week. Let us know what games, if any, are you planning to check out this week. Moving on from that, E3 is right around the corner and we're seeing more and more news trickling in. And what's been confirmed by juggernaut publisher Ubisoft is that they have another AAA title coming by March 31st. They specifically state that they have 3 AAA games coming in the current fiscal year, which ends on March 31st. Games already announced include The Crew 2 as well as The Division 2, but on top of that, they specified an unannounced title. Now, this can't be the new IP Skull and Bones, which has been delayed until next fiscal year. That's already been confirmed. And there's no word on whether or not this is a brand new IP, but if I had to make a bet, I would assume that this is a brand new Splinter Cell game. We already saw Walmart Canada make a gigantic leak of a lot of titles. One of those games leaked was Rage 2, and would you look at that? That game has been confirmed. Another game listed was a brand new Splinter Cell title, and it's been a long time since we've gotten a new Splinter Cell game, going back to 2013 with Splinter Cell Blacklist. That game released right before the PlayStation 4's launch on the PlayStation 3. We haven't even gotten a Splinter Cell release this generation, so it's about time that we get a brand new Splinter Cell game. Blacklist was so good, went a little under the radar because it did release late last gen, but it's time for Ubisoft to bring the franchise back, and E3 would be a great debuting point for the title, and I could very well see it being released this fall. We know a new Assassin's Creed game isn't coming out this year, so either it's a new Splinter Cell title or it's a brand new IP. Let us know what you'd like to see this game, and are you interested in a new Splinter Cell game? Speaking of E3, Square Enix has filed a brand new trademark for Outriders. Now, we have no idea what this Outriders game is, but PlayStation Lifestyle did speculate that this could either be the new Avengers project, or Square Enix is also working on a AAA shooter with Bulletstorm developer People Can Fly. Bulletstorm was a pretty good game that was remastered onto the PlayStation 4 earlier, although it was colossally overpriced. Let's not talk about that right now, but that's something to be interested in as well. Square Enix is going to have a big presence at E3, so whatever this Outriders game is expected to be shown off at that event. And finally, I gotta give a mention to a PlayStation 4 open beta that is going on right now for the game Onrush, an arcade racer that's being developed by Codemasters. But how about some interesting information on this game? Codemasters actually hired members of Evolution Studios, a studio that Sony closed down, to work on this new racing game Onrush. Now, if you don't know who Evolution are, they worked on the excellent MotorStorm franchise, so you can see they have quite a pedigree with racing games, and Codemasters themselves have put out Dirt. So on the surface, this seems like a concoction with a lot of potential, and the Onrush open beta has been going on. It's extended by 2 days, and this is a very enjoyable racing game. Now, it doesn't have a ton of depth to it, but with this extension, they've added more content, vehicle classes, and modes, and you can level up to unlock rewards in the full release. Again, you have nothing to lose by trying out the game right now. All you have to do is download it, and you'll be able to play it until Tuesday, May 22nd. Personally speaking, as someone that's not super into racing sims, Onrush really caters towards my interests, and it's a pretty enjoyable racing game, so give it a look for yourself. Again, it's an absolutely free open beta.
Hey, it's Rishi here. We know you guys want to see more of the game in action, and what better way to show you gameplay than to break down the final sequence in the Stampede trailer along Sanctuary Shore, showcasing the Stampede system, keeping 24 vehicles together in the action all of the time. Here you can see the Vortex buggy, driven by Jonathan, one of our awesome guys who worked on the trailer. He can see a variety of different routes available, takes the high route, jumps down below.
So that is going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts on everything. What games are you checking out this week? Again, we've got Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition on May 22nd, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon on May 24th, and then May 25th brings the heavy hitters in Dark Souls Remastered, as well as the brand new PlayStation 4 exclusive in Detroit Become Human. A lot of interesting titles there and quite a bit of diversity in those game releases, so a very big week for new games. On top of that, what do you think Ubisoft's brand new AAA game is going to be? Is it a brand new Splinter Cell title, or would you prefer it to be a new IP? I know I'd love a Splinter Cell game, but maybe you think differently. Square Enix has filed a new trademark for Outriders. What could that be? Again, possibilities include an Avengers project as well as a AAA shooter with people can fly. And finally, make sure you give Onrush a look. The free PS4 open beta is running until May 22nd, and it's a pretty enjoyable arcade racer. Sound off with your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.